This is Dr. David Schein, and welcome to Business Law 101. We've got two different systems of law, and we just want you to know this for your own purposes. The United States follows the British legal custom, which started around 1500. It's been around for over 500 years now, and this is called the common law. How the common law is done is when a judge makes a decision, if the judge is at an appellate level, those decisions are written down, and then other judges who come behind that judge know how the judge ruled and try to follow that to build a consensus, because it's hard to create statutes that describe every single possible situation. So again, that's the common law. In contrast is something called the civil law. Civil law is most common in Europe. France, Germany, for instance, follows civil law. Civil law is based on the concept that everything can be turned into a code. We can think of every possible legal situation and write them out. Now, quickly, anybody want to hazard a guess as to what state in the United States is the only state to follow the civil law system? And it's not Texas. You can open your mic and just volunteer.
I think it's Louisiana.
Very good, Max. Very good. Yes, it's Louisiana. And why do you think that is? You can open your mic again and say why you think that.
That's because it is like a French territory, actually.
What happened is that New Orleans was one of the largest cities in America in 1803. And at that time, you may recall Napoleon Bonaparte was running around Europe kicking butts and taking over other countries. And I think what happened is he was smart enough to realize that the United States was rapidly expanding and had moved down the eastern seaboard and was moving westerly. And so my opinion is Napoleon was smart enough to say, you know what, I can either sell Louisiana to Jefferson, or Jefferson's going to end up with it anyway, and I won't get any money for it. So I might as well sell it to him. And so they made a very good deal. I don't recall the number of millions of dollars that they paid, but they paid a certain number of millions of dollars to Napoleon, and they took over Louisiana. And it's a massive tract of land. It's the entire middle of the United States from New Orleans. It makes a big upside down L all the way over to Portland and Seattle area. So it's quite a massive contribution to the United States. But in any event, the Napoleonic Code, as in Napoleon, was the civil law of New Orleans, again, a fairly large city in its day. And so they were allowed to keep their legal system, even though the rest of the United States was following the common law system. Now, I can tell you, I am licensed in Louisiana and Texas, and the day-to-day practice of law in the two states is almost indistinguishable. So what has happened over the last 200 years is the common law has become more codified. We write more stuff down, we create more codes, and the civil law has become more like common law, where they write down all the court decisions and they look at precedent and stuff like that. So in normal day-to-day law business practice, for those on this call tonight, I think you'll find that there's very little difference whether you're in a civil law or common law situation. Again, there are exceptions to that, but it's something that's pretty interesting, folks.